Hello, everybody, and welcome to CCA League playoff action. We got a semifinals matchup, I believe, for y'all. It is a Division 7 matchup between the FSU Goldies and the Birthday Crew, excuse me. My name is Kyon. On the other side, I got the direction wrong this time. It is Inker. Inker, how are you doing?
I'm doing great today. I'm really excited to see some Division 7 action. We've made it all the way to the semifinals, and I know both of these teams have been putting on quite the show throughout their groups and also the round one of playoffs. So really, I think this one could go either way.
Yeah, and and I'm actually really intrigued and excited. Two words I'll use today to see how this division all shapes up at the end. A little interesting tidbit for both teams here because they just played their quarterfinals matchup. At some point, they took down Water Bisons 5-2. That's FSU Goldies for that record. The Birthday Crew getting the 5-1 dub over Bioluminescence. That is the team. That is the team name of question. So I want to see what these two teams are ready to rep here. Florida State, of course, versus California. Santa Cruz coming in. And Inker, I know we were just talking about it before. Here with the weapon loadouts here from the Goldies, of course, and I think there were two players we want to keep an eye on as this set progresses.
Yeah, definitely. It was going to be Clover on that Carbon Roller is the main threat, I think, is something that we were talking about before. Carbon Roller, always a really strong option in any division, but especially in the lower ones, I feel as if that is always going to be the case and seems to be supported by a lot of paint. With especially Gast on that Splatling there is going to be someone to keep an eye out.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna be seeing a lot of fun action. I think the players we want to keep an eye out here, Inker, is gonna be the Carbon Roller, of course, to get things going. And let's see what these two teams are, of course, made of. As we do have the FSU Goldies, if I'm not mistaken, going to be on the gold colored side, blue colored side, of course, the Birthday Crew. Anything that sticks out to you as we load right into this?
I'm seeing an undercover umbrella on the side of the Birthday Crew. That is definitely an unusual option, but I think on this sort of map mode, definitely could get a lot of value. And that's a hammer being thrown within the first 10 seconds of the game. We definitely get a feel for maybe the kind of playstyle from Nuck on the splooge, actually getting taken out by Windmill here, who is pushing up even further. Clover kind of forced behind this wall, and now is going to be located forced retreat.
Yeah, Windmill forcing members from the Goldies, of course, forcing them to retreat. Excuse me here. You do have Clubs and Poppy on this right side, trying to see if they can poke from distance. Clover's gonna get eliminated there. Nice shot of the Expos from Clubs, but Nuke's gonna be there trying to collapse onto Clubs. All things considered, Ultra Champ is being used by Nuke, but it doesn't look like he even got the zone, let alone anything else. As we see this go into an all-out brawl here. Should be the zone split for Florida State here. Inker, that is going to be the case, and that will be Florida State. They'll start their push with this one coming up.
Yeah, a lot of points being thrown down on the board, and a really good Booyah Bomb is allowing Gas here to take a lot of great space, but this Explo is playing very aggressively, managing to get that trade out there, which could be crucial, but the Birthday Crew are actually going 3 down, which is going to allow Florida State to keep control of the zone and very likely get the lead as well, as we're trying to build for more specials.
And of course, the specials do need to be built up here, especially with this Ultra Champ, to see if they can get some immediate value right away. Takes out Clubs just a little too far to the left of that hitbox there, as it is going to be Poppy and Gato trying to see if they can fight back. But it looks like this jump's going to also get punished here. Club's going to go down there as Clover, the one with the Carbon Roller, of course, immediately eliminating them. As it's going to be another zones cap here for the Goldies, but they got to chew through these penalty points here. But plus 20 and still going down. It's going to be Gas, going to be planting themselves on the right-hand side. They do have a Booyah Bomb ready to go, at which they're just going to pop right now onto what I believe will be the left side of the map, which that will be the case, and it will force the Birthday Crew pretty much spread out all across the map. About 42 points, and now taking down, that is going to be FSU Goldies with the lead here. Inker, as this Reef Slider gets the wipeout. That was excellent. Birthday Crew is going to get the zones, and maybe a good setup for them to get the lead.
Wow, it looked as if it was almost certain that FSU were going to get the wipeout, but that slider coming in at the perfect moment, finding the remaining 2 from Florida State, is going to be crucial for them, as now the hammer's being built up along with the Booyah Bomb. Good coordination of specials here is going to allow for a flip of the zone for FSU, but they get wiped out in turn, so it is only a temporary stall as Birthday Crew now have 2 specials of their own, and this is going to definitely be a very difficult retake for Florida State.
Yeah, Florida State's gonna have to deal with Chumps and a Reef Slider. Probably the 2 specials that you don't want to deal with if you're gonna have to be racing into the zone for immediate cap here, as that is gonna be the lead given to the Birthday Crew. Agent tries to fight Poppy in it and gets the better of him, and now trying to collapse onto Gato. But it looks like they may have been cleared out. As Birthday Crew is gonna go 3 down on this one. It's gonna be Clover trying to see if they can fight, which they should be able to, and it'll be another zone split, but more points on the board here for the Birthday Crew, as it will just be a Ultra Stem that is available if they want to take advantage of it. But they are gonna wait this one out patiently here. They're gonna see if they can get through these penalty points, as that is gonna be the splat. Gas has went down. Gato's now raiding the right stack here. Anchor, that's the penalty points cleared out here for Florida State. They're still trying to see if they can get a lead, especially with a minute and 12 seconds left in this game.
Oh, but that slider is going to make it so difficult for them, as the penalty just simply gets reapplied so fast as another one goes down. And for all of the great plays that FSU seems to be making, it just looks like Birthday Crew are always able to kind of waltz back into that zone. But the fighting has, I think both sides have been winning their fair share of fights. They are not, you know, playing it slow by any means.
Yeah, definitely not opting to play slow. Definitely looking to play a lot more aggressively here, a lot more of a fast-paced game, if you will, here. And Florida State still trying to see if they can find something out of this, especially with the lead still in favor of the Birthday Crew. Reef Slider, I think, eliminated a couple members there, which is going to make things a little bit more difficult for Florida State to try to contest. Blue Bombs are just going to eliminate Poppy right where they stood. It's a well-placed one, but Club's trying to see if they can get some damage. And there goes Gas. The backline has dropped here from the Birthday Crew, and Agent goes down the same way. Could we be getting a triple here? Nuke takes a lot of damage. They know where Nuke is, and Nuke is still on that right side, playing this one patiently. It is just going to be the double there, but this is going to be the Birthday Crew taking control of the zone. Now the zone swim has to happen right now, which it may not be happening here, especially with the members that have dropped right at that very moment. Anchor, all things considered, it was a very competitive game, and it ends with the Birthday Crew taking home game 1, and that is going to be the California Santa Cruz striking first here in this best of 9.
Wow, I think this is definitely going to be a match that goes down to the wire. We saw it was really a game of inches there, as Clubs was looking like 1 HP. They're managing to survive, and through that survival, managing to find 2 picks as well as get so much paint down on the zone. So the Birthday Crew managing to hold on to that lead in the end, but absolutely really great fights from both sides. So I definitely would not be surprised to see this one go. Maybe it's early to say it's going to go the distance, but I have a good feeling about it.
Especially with both of us probably having experienced the best of minds, but of course in very different perspectives. We'll have to wait until probably games 2 and 3 before I ultimately make the biggest jinx of the night. So let's keep that in mind. Now I think my weapons I do have eyes on. I did see, if I'm not mistaken, from the Birthday Crew, that was an Explo and an End Zap. I believe specifically the orange Zap there with the chumps that I have my eyes on, which those two have done a lot of immediate damage there for the Birthday Crew. So I want to see how those players can take advantage of, especially into this game 2. It is going to be Hagglefish Market Tower Control, by the way. That's going to be the second map coming up here. And the third map, just to get you queued up here, is going to be Undertow Rainmaker. So I think there's a lot of ways that both teams can definitely approach this. But so far, it's a solid start for the Birthday Crew, and hopefully, and for them, hoping they can build on this momentum.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm definitely going to be curious to see how they navigate tower control, because just off the top of my head, it does feel as if the Birthday Crew's comp is maybe geared towards flat zones. You know, having the Ekbo for the paint, having the slider on that umbrella is definitely 2 things that are really going to be great on zones. So we'll be curious to see how they manage to translate that to tower, or if they change their comp. You know, I have no idea what kind of tricks the Birthday Crew has up their sleeve in the weapons department.
Yeah, I feel like especially when you get to this division where you have a lot of wild cards, I like to throw it. You have some players obviously not as familiar in the competitive Splatoon landscape. There's a lot of comfort that could be discussed here. So I think, to your point, maybe we could be seeing some weapon swaps. Maybe they'll just stick to what they know best. Maybe the Birthday Crew will just throw a lot of curveballs along the way here, as I don't think there's going to be very minimal change here from Florida State. Other side, there is a gold spray on the board, but the funny thing is the undercover has came back once again. Does not appear to be a one-off here at all. Anchor, it looks like the birthday crew is still dishing the Expo, the Twinkles Dualies, if I'm not mistaken, and the undercover coming into this.
Yeah, definitely. But a lot of the Booyah Bombs is definitely going to be some sort of adaptation, as we already see one flying out 15. I think there's 2 games straight that we've seen a special being thrown within the first 15 seconds as the slider now comes out. Not quite getting the same amount of value, gonna get taken out, but this Expo, I believe coming from mid, is gonna force Nuck really far back, as now the hammer's gonna come out and is gonna find that Dualies. Nuck super low, but finding that value. And with the Booyah Bomb coming out in tandem, they're gonna find another pick. And now FSU is going to have to, like, take their space, but it's going to get swatted away right away.
I think Birthday Cruz just said, nah, Florida said we're not going to give you any momentum, especially when you eliminate all of our members there before we even reach the first checkpoint. So plenty of opportunities there from the Birthday Crew to extend the lead, which they should be able to right now. It's going to now depend on the rest of the team. How do they position themselves there? As Expo has went down. That is a Reef Slider used on the tower to protect this push. And there's the bubble being used. They've invested a lot of resources there, Anchor, to get the first checkpoint cleared. And the Birthday Crew only gets points capped in. So a successful defense, excuse me, from Florida State, as Florida State resets the tower back to mid, and they're going to go with the push of the round.
Yeah, they managed to get 2 down right away as Gas, you know, managing to live. These Fizzy Bombs are so annoying for the Hydra, I can tell, forcing them back, but, you know, that survivability is going to be really important. But as I say it, getting shut down by Windmill, FSU, you know, had the numbers advantage, but it just feels like the Birthday Crew are so good at managing to hang on even when they are put in these bad situations.
Yeah, and some of these situations are pretty much what you expect here. A lot of brawls happening. Both teams basically looking for big opportunities to get bigger pushes here. And the Birthday Crew were doing just a good job until you see a sea of gold ink there, Anchor, where you see Clover now trying to see if they can do their part as a carbon roller. You want to take advantage of the vast amount of ink that your team has. And Clover immediately using the Zuka gets 1 out of the board. That's enough for the lead change. Now they know where Gato is. Gato's going to go down before Clover has even has a chance to collapse onto them. And Anchor, it is going to be points remain. 3 members have all gone down. A chance with a second checkpoint to be happening here, and it looks like they should be able to clear out the second checkpoint.
Whoa, Clover moving all the way up through the court. Nuck taking the top right. This is textbook Hagglefish TC here coming out from FSU as the Zuka now getting 2 more picks with the Booyah Bomb. They were all bunched up together, and the tower is marching on, and game 2 is going to go to the Goldies in dominant fashion.
It really only just took 2 big swings there. You got Clover that found a lot of space there with the carbon roller. The Anchor, and you also got to see the rest of the team pretty much follow suit. When Clover got a lot of clearance to do whatever they wanted to do deep into the Birthday Crew's territory, Birthday Crew was just kind of straggling, trying to pan it. Maybe a little bit panic, but not by much. It's pretty much, at that point, the Zuka, you just have no response. There's no chances left for the Birthday Crew to fight back, and then FSU Goldies, it went from 0 to 100 pretty much in a near instant. You clear the second checkpoint, you actually take home the victory with that third with that finish line. And hey, that's FSU Goldies on the board, 1-1 tie, and I think your premonition might be right. We could be seeing a very fun set coming up here, especially with both teams trading map for map, so at least with the 2 maps that we saw.
Yeah, definitely. We are actually gonna see a sub come out from one of these teams. So, you know, both these teams have pretty deep rosters. I think it was at least 6 to 7. I didn't mean to do that, but people on each side coming out. So it'll definitely be interesting to see what each new person can offer in the matchup. Yeah, and I was correct. Or no, wait, I wasn't right. It's 5 and 6. Okay, well.
You've been spared. You've been spared, and I think everybody's gonna get a laugh out of it. We'll have to take away some of your points. But all that being said, and done, Anchor, I think this is gonna be. So this was actually kind of almost a departure from Game 1. Game 1, we saw the back and forth. Game 2, definitely back and forth until the FSU Goldies realized it was a big opening and just visioned onto it. And I think with the imminent subs coming into this game, I'm wanting to see what. Obviously, we'll know what teams will be putting out the subs, but I want to know what the adaptation is, because you look at the teams here. You got a 6 deep roster from FSU Goldies and a 5 deep roster from the Birthday Crew. What does that sub mean, especially in the context of Undertow Rainmaker going to be the map coming up here?
Yeah, definitely. I think, as I said before in the last game, Birthday Crew's comp, I think, was probably worse on tower control and best on zones. And I think Rainmaker's maybe like a good middle ground for that. Because you definitely can see a lot of nuclear damage coming out if you Reef Slider or Rainmaker Shield or something like that, whereas it can, Reef Slider struggles a lot more on tower. So I'll definitely be curious to see, because it does seem like that's going to be a mainstay for the comp, which I definitely love to see. Whereas on the other side, FSU Goldies, they had this position where they just needed to set up their carbon roller with paint like far in the enemy spawn. Like it felt Mako Mart is traditionally a good like carbon map just because of the ledges and the stacks, but there wasn't that far up that the carbon could set themselves up. Whereas on a map like Undertow, I think we could definitely see the carbon getting some huge damage if they get set up in the proper way. So we're gonna have to see how both of these teams navigate this sort of issue, as the sub for FSU is actually going to see a Luna Blaster come on out, and the Birthday Crew are introducing Cooler.
So that's probably basically what I call basically the flex weapon change for the most part here. You still stick with the Nenzap, just a different kit all around for the Cooler. And here's the sub here. It's gonna be funny in the place of Nuke there with this Luna Blaster. You want to know the very funny part about this Anchor? It still keeps the Ultra Stamp, I guess. You just now have a different class of a weapon to be used. So FSU is still gonna be sticking with an Ultra Stamp of some variety, just the different player wielding the different main weapon and the special at hand. As we're about 30 seconds into this game, nobody really grabbing the Rainmaker so far, as both teams still looking for an opportunity to strike, and it looks like that will be the first time for UCSC in this case to strike in. 3 members have all gone down, but the Rainmaker has been dropped. It's gonna be 45 seconds into this game, and FSU, what I thought would be a nice first checkpoint for the Birthday Crew, they're able to hold them off.
Yeah, just barely. It looked like Luna Blaster managing to find that pick in the last possible second, and now FSU have so many people rushing this left side. I really love the speed from them, as Poppy, forced to drop from left, is kind of the only person alive, gonna get swatted away, getting a trade for their trouble, as UCSC is now set up on the defense on this right side, and Windmill's gonna find one and have the slider for the defense, but first check is definitely a solid one.
Yeah, and there's still one member that is alive, and now they're gonna get eliminated. So still the first check. It does open up. It opens up for more opportunities to either pull off a sneaky right side push or the standard left side push if you're the FSU Goldies. And the Birthday Crew are looking to see what they can do there. Windmill nearly trying to flirt with danger there. I think everybody was wondering, what do you do? Were you gonna fall off in this Rainmaker and force a reset? No, they're just gonna keep this inbounds. But what is the cost of that maneuver? At least the Clover just jump scaring them immediately, using a few clicks of the carbon roller, eliminates them where they stand, and they get a second pick as well, eliminating Gato as well. And Inker FSU Goldies, they're still keeping the Rainmaker close to where they can make it a big push coming up. And it looks like they may be able to do so, especially with Windmill on this left side, still trying to defend this all their might. We're going to ignore the suction bomb splat there, but either way, FSU Goldies still have a chance to get more points on the board, Inker.
Yeah, I mean, they've looked much more dangerous on the two sides as we approach the halfway mark, but again, this Brella being set up on this left side, a lot of times holding a Reef Slider, and even when they don't have a Reef Slider, is been the thorn in the side of FSU, and they definitely need to clear that out before they can go, as Windmill is going to be taken out by Gas on the Rainmaker, as the flank behind also gets taken out, as we are only clubs alive for the Birthday Crew, who is going to now get picked out by Gas as well, as the Rainmaker rush could be on. They're actually going to go around the grates, take it a little bit slower, but I do not dislike this at all, as the Rainmaker's going in all the way down to 9, finally going down, but FSU are going to be really happy with that one, as they might get wiped, but the damage has been done.
Really happy is the understatement. Unfortunately, they should be really darn excited as well. Club's going to force the reset there. I don't blame them there, especially with the way that Rainmaker is positioned, which is actually kind of interesting here, though, because it was smart play as well to eliminate the threat in front of them. Also, the team noticed that there was a flank happening on the right-hand side of the map, and it led to the Birthday Crew completely getting caught off guard, and FSU Goldies took full advantage from start to finish and able to take that home to the 9 points remaining here. Windmill's gonna try to stop any possibilities of FSU Goldies getting themselves set up on defense, as the Rainmaker is going to be dropped before they even slams home on the first checkpoint here. Gallo and Windmill are trying to collapse onto this one. There is a reset that is available and is no longer available because Windmill picks up this Rainmaker, and Funny is able to pretty much push everybody out with their mere presence alone. Anger about 1 minute and 7 seconds left into this game. FSU Goldies is still holding strong on defense.
I mean, yeah, this last gas defending to prevent the checkpoint is so clutch coming out. Like, not even giving the Birthday Crew a chance to kind of sniff at the advantage that they have created. But, you know, as I say it, suddenly FSU are 3 down and the Birthday Crew have full numbers advantage and the Rainmaker in a good position as Windmill is now set up not quite close to Slider, but is still in a position pretty far up and is going to be taking these fights. Manages to get a pick ahead as well as FSU are 3 down. Gas is left to be the only thing between the Rainmaker and the lead. Can the shots come out in time? And yes, they can! Stopping the Rainmaker at 13. Now, FSU desperately need this pop. They're going to get it, and they are going to drop this Rainmaker on the left side with 20 seconds left. Really great play coming out from Gas there to save the game.
What a play there from Gas, but it's still not quite over yet. That is a full wipe. Now, they can't pick up this Rainmaker and at least get the OT started. Are they going to try to push for the right-hand side? I think that's what they're going to try to do, but there is going to be a bit of a misdirection here because of where those Rainmakers positioned. 2 members have all gone down in a near instant. It's just Clubs and the Rainmaker holder there, but the Rainmaker holder is pretty much stuck in no man's land. No matter what they try to do, they can't move forward. Almost a huge opportunity, but where the Rainmaker got placed was already asking for a lot. What a play from FSU Goldies there on defense to at least stop what could have been a big push for the Birthday Crew, and they're gonna be up 2-1 here in this best of 9.
I mean, wow! It only takes one. You know, that's the thing about Rainmaker. It only takes 1 push. So, for as well as FSU were doing, they must be really happy about stopping those checkpoint defenses, because it prevented the Birthday Crew from getting even more pushes. And, you know, as we saw there, their pushes for the goal are really strong. So I'm not sure if that game was another minute long how FSU would have fared, but, you know, that's the game we play, right? And it ends up being a really nice play coming out from Gas, stopping the Rainmaker, and then not just that, grabbing the Rainmaker and having the presence of mind to not jump off the map with it, but instead put it in a really bad position for the Birthday Crew, which allowed FSU a much easier time in overtime.
What's very fascinating about the ending there was Birthday Crew literally just needed a little bit more runway, but it was a big play from FSU. I think, as you know, I think that was Gas on that Hydra that was able to get the pick onto that. But what's also next level, at least for players playing within this level, is Gas with the present, as you know, with the present in mind, to be able to instead of the reset, force it in that stall position in Undertow Rainmaker, where you realize that hey, even if we collapse onto them, well, it's already gonna be hard enough for you guys to get the Rainmaker, and plus that right side has no ink to deal with. So good luck, y'all. You don't have. There's no way for you to be able to get easy points on the right hand side of the map. So you can kind of see at the end, the Birthday Crew was like, do we want to push right, or do we want to try to commit left and restart everything again? But by the time they were already kind of split, FSU Goldies was like, all right, no, you guys are done. All that being said, a done deal. So that was excellent overall and great awareness from FSU Goldies. Now we got to see in Barnacle and Dime Clan Blitz what I always call the teamwork test here, because you have to coordinate everything all in one, especially with these teams playing here. How on earth do we try to coordinate a strong push in Barnacle and Dime Clan Blitz, especially if you are the Birthday Crew, which had a bit of a heartbreak there, almost got the lead, but they just need a few more seconds. So maybe this is the map to do it. Try to get themselves back into this.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a bold prediction here. I see from, you know, the first 3 games there, both of these teams seem to be specialists in offense, and that is also to say that I think that this is going to be a very high-scoring game. I think both of these teams are going to be, you know, swinging for the fences, as their offenses are much stronger than their defenses. So I'd be very curious to see how deep the scoring manages to go here, as already Clover tried to make a play running up through that left side, waste no time at all. Is going to get kind of found out by the Expo, force it back.
Yeah, so here's the thing with the Birthday Crew. So they actually have a main weapon change. That's going to be the Red Dapples. That's beacons and cooler available But instead of running double cooler, you got the end zap, you got the orange zap with the chumps there, as so they're going to be having a cooler, but just in a different player's hands. So that's going to be interesting to see what the Birthday Crew wants to weaponize with that. As you see from FSU Goldies, you might see a bubble back in the forefront here in this Clan Blitz game. And of course, Nuke is back in instead of Funny there, so that's the swap out. The Swoosh is back into this one. I know there was a lot of brawling that you kind of saw there. That is a jump of this Power Clam that is only being used to defend it with all their might, all things considered. I think I got fooled the same way we did there, Anchor, if anything. But hey, that's 3 minutes and 55 seconds left. Nobody has an advantage.
Yeah, absolutely not. That was a really good securing of the ball. I actually thought for a second that Clover was going to attempt to run to the basket, but instead, you know, making the wise decision probably to go and wait that out. But now Gato looks like they had a clear run to the basket, but Clover swatting that instance away, and Windmill and Clubs left alone here to try to hold mid and get jumps for their team. But Clover gonna find one, but is just completely engulfed in the blue ink, is gonna go down in turn.
Yeah, and so far, both teams actually not getting a push in to start with this. You kind of saw that there was a window of opportunity there from the Birthday Crew to get a push started, but they won't be able to do that just yet as Gato gets a double there. Will they save the Power Clam? The answer is yes, but that Power Clam quickly panic tossed up into the front there. And unfortunately, the Power Clam does not deal damage when you throw it right in front of a player, so that's just a little unfortunate. But so far, it is going to be the Birthday Crew. They did lose that Power Clam available, but they will have another one spawn thanks to some clams that spawn near the base of FSU Goldies. But Club's already eliminated. Windmill does get the retaliation pick, but so far here, Anchor, nobody really finding an opening to work off of. As Windmill takes out Nuke, but it's only just the one member that has dropped. But same deal. Nobody has an opportunity, maybe until now, as we're past the halfway mark. And Anchor, there is a window of opportunity for the Birthday Crew to strike, but I think they're gonna play this one patiently, if anything.
Oh my goodness, but I think Clover was waiting for that and was sitting on the plat and maybe even found 4. I mean, a lot of picks went down there, and now we have the Zuka as, you know, the Birthday Crew is trying to get the retake. Unfortunately, not going to come out, but FSU have a lot of space. They moved really fast, but they don't quite have the Clam economy to move. It appears that I was completely wrong, as both of these teams' defense has been impeccable thus far, as the Birthday Crew are managed to come out and retake their plat and force this once again back into, you know, a standard mid.
So here's the funny thing, is that there's a lot of claims from FSU Goldies, and you know how volatile this game can get in a hurry here. There's still time for Florida State to try to move forward here, especially with 2 power claims into the forefront. I think Nuke is trying to see if they can catch any stragglers there from the Birthday Crew, but you kind of get the feeling, Anchor, that both teams are playing this one patiently, looking for the right time to move up, because there isn't really a whole lot of ink favoring one team or the other. They're waiting for total control of this map. Nuke, by the way, eliminating one and actually gets rid of Gato, but there's still a couple members that are left defending mid from the Birthday Crew. So you kind of get the sense here, Anchor, that I think both teams are just waiting for the perfect opportunity to move forward. Maybe looking for a 3 or 4 down from one fight, and I think that's kind of why we're seeing things kind of slow down here. Less than a minute left to go. One power climb is going to disappear, and both teams have lost 2.
I mean, yeah, they need one of these specials to come in clutch here, right? Like maybe a hammer or a whale to kind of step up with if you're FSU, and then on the side of the Birthday Crew, like maybe a nuclear slider, as I like to say, or, you know, a range push up through. It's as we get into the last 30 seconds, I mean, we have not seen anything happen, and now I think it's becoming pretty clear that it's just going to take one moment of brilliance from either side to see who's going to take the game. And you know, it looks like FSU has quite the advantage here with the bubble on the plat and the Zuka coming out, but, you know, with the numbers coming in, you know, is there going to be a team that kind of gets antsy and tries to make a mad dash for the basket as the Birthday Crew are going 2 down and now make that 3, and now the footballs come in. It's going to score. 3 seconds are left. Can they get the 1 clam in after overtime? And yes, they can. The Birthday Crew actually did not have a football at all, which is something that happens when there wasn't a pity. So that is just going to be the end of the game there. And FSU, out of nowhere, are going to come in and take out this game 4.
I was waiting for the lovely words of the 8-minute overtime session because of the way the
Yeah,
game was kind of progressing. I think you and I were kind of feeling the exact same way. It's like, oh my god, we're gonna
yeah.
get the 8-minute OT. The 8-minute OT is gonna happen. And to be fair, if you're not comfortable moving forward as a team with a push, you're gonna wait for, okay, can we clear out the enemy's team? Do we feel comfortable moving forward quite yet? That's kind of where I kind of got the sense that both teams were waiting for that prime opportunity, because you saw the Ridley crew had two power clans. They opted to not move forward because they feel like, all right, we're not ready yet to go. And then when that, but however, by doing that, the window has unfortunately closed shut. You go to the very end of the end. 4 seconds left. Only one power climb is all you need, and that's just simply because it was a lot of clear. It was basically the stagger 3 down that led to it. And as you noted, out of nowhere, FSU goalies took advantage of it, and now we're basically approaching the halfway part of the set. You're now up. You're now 3-1, and the Birthday Crew has some moment of brilliance here. Maybe this is the time to recapture that magic, because they won the first zones map, and Ramen Zones is coming up. So if we know anything about their comp, that Reef Slider can come in handy when they need it.
Yeah, I'm absolutely expecting Windmill to have an amazing game here, as I think they've been playing very well, and I think this map will definitely suit them along with that X-Blow. It's definitely going to be a thing where FSU may have won the last 3 games, but they definitely need to have a long, hard think about what they want to do on this map. They've seen a couple substitution changes, a couple small weapon adaptations through that, and they're definitely going to need to realize that what happened in game 1 maybe won't work here, even if it did work on the other modes. So they're definitely not going to want to just kind of give up the zones games, and just focus on the other maps.
So one of the things one of the things that I think FSU goalies want to do if they want to solve the riddle of the Reef Slider shenanigans is, how do you deal with Windmill? Birthday Crew has won that zones map, so they may have found something to work off of. So what does FSU goalies want to do? Do they just want to take the fight right towards the Birthday Crew, or do you punish the Birthday Crew when they go out of position here? But either way, the only constant that we know so far from the Birthday Crew anchor is the Expo, and the undercover is pretty much constant. The only thing that hasn't been constant is that there's an M-Parries and a Frozen Pro on the board. There's 10 missiles and a triple splashdown. So if you're going to win a zones map, why not find the weapons where you can displace enemies, and also find specials to get instant cap of the zones? FSU goalies, however, is not going to let them, because that is the delay wipe. Clover and Nuke are right near their base, and FSU goalies wants to take this one home, Anchor.
Yeah, absolutely. Wasting no time at all to move through. A hammer got popped, as well as Clover moving in, drawing attention for each other. That is great teamwork coming out, as this Booyah Bomb and Zuka are now going to be popped at the same time. But Clover actually is going to go down and allow this Birthday Crew side flank to come in clutch. And they're going to bring FSU 3 down and get capture of the zone. And now this is going to be their opportunity with a splashdown in hand to try to, make a strong push.
Yeah, they can use the splashdown in many different ways if they want to use it. Use it as a defensive special if they realize that zone's gonna get capped quickly, or you can use it to gain a lot of ground. Both teams have lost multiple members there. They are gonna have to rebuild the triple splashdowns, which is just as fine here, because that is still the zones cap in favor of the Birthday Crew. Lead does change hands in the early portion of this game, as that is a disconnect. So that is FSU goalies going perma 1 down there. I gotta see what weapon has disappeared. It was the sploosh that has gone down from Nuke's end, and they are gonna play this one out. So this is gonna be, if they are playing this one out right now, I think, Anchor, we're gonna be talking about a 3-2 set here, and still in favor of the FSU goalies. I'm trying to get my words correct there, but yeah, the Red Screws are just gonna take this one home.
Yeah, that is a brutal one for sure. I mean, I did see Nuck teleport at one point. I didn't want to draw attention to it, but definitely, it was in this game. So hopefully that's just a one-game kind of fluke. FSU does have Funny on the Luna Blaster in the back if they absolutely need. So, maybe isn't the end of the world, but yeah, definitely a valuable member going down there is not something that you can come back from. And yeah, Birthday Crew once again winning the zones game. I think that one had a lot more potential to be close. I mean, the Mako zones game was also very close in its own right, but yeah, it's just not the way that you want to see it end after it promised to be a really back and forth game.
That had every promise to be incredibly close here as we got to see the lead change hands with the birthday crew. So the poor Nuke getting ejected from the game entirely. It must have been this really powerful Booyah Bomb that has caused a lot of messes across the board. I mean, all jokes aside, at that point the disconnect happened when the birthday crew already had control of the zone, so it was already an uphill battle from the start. And the fact that I think FSU goalies played this one out there, Anchor. They just realized, all right, we're just gonna toss this game. We still have a decent lead there, 3-2. If anything, we have won the non-zones mode. So hey, why not? Let's see if we can recapture that magic in a tower control map. And this is what I call the uncommon territory of maps. If for those not familiar in competitive Splatoon, Manta Maria tower control is coming up next, and this map. Anchor doesn't get a lot of airtime, and I'm ready to see what both teams want to dish out in terms of any buffoonery, so to speak, coming into Manta Maria Tower Control.
I think I'm a little bit too used to CCA. I've played this map many times in my career. So it's definitely something that is seen in a lot of the CCA map lists, and is going to be something that I think actually will favor the birthday crew perhaps in terms of their composition, if they can have that control of the bunk. And Nuck is actually going to come back on this sploosh, so hopefully we don't see a DC at all, and if we do, it's really early on. And this is going to be the splashdown exploit. Actually, 3 weapon variations are going to swap on the side of the birthday crew: the Booyah Bomb, the Bubble, and the Splashdown coming out, which I think all of them make complete sense on this sort of map.
I actually appreciate the choices here because you got a bubble that they can use to protect. You have the Explo's triple splashdown opportunity, so you have the triple splashdown that you can use for the back line, and of course a Booyah Bomb readily available from Poppy whenever Poppy's ready to use it, such as right now. And there goes Gas. I think got caught in that Booyah Bomb, and that is an opportunity open here from the birthday crew, as they are going to be clearing through the first checkpoint. Now Poppy's just trying to poke with a lot of damage with the main weapon on the right hand side of the map, trying to push FSU Goldies back. Nuke does get the pick onto the dualies, and Clubs has also went down as well. So this push only leads to 1 checkpoint, and it should be leading to Windmill not able to capitalize on this Reef Slider. But what it should lead to, Anchor, is pretty much a close back and forth, especially with the way the start has kind of progressed.
Yeah, absolutely. And Windmill doing a really good job to survive there. I thought they were in a bad position, but the shield getting so much value and allowing them to retreat and go back to their team and provide a lot of paint as a big splashdown coming out from Clubs, but going to be taken up by Gast, who's very wisely coming across these grates. Unfortunately, that bubble getting canceled out by the Booyah Bomb in turn. And now this slider, wow, look at that range of the 70 hitbox coming out. And these trades are flying on both sides, but they're going to benefit the birthday crew as another pick is gone. That, I believe, is a delayed wipe, and it's going to allow the birthday crew to come in and take the bunker here as Poppy is sitting on this tower looking to do a lot more damage.
Yeah, and you're correct. That is a delayed wipeout. So this is an opportunity for the birthday crew to build on this momentum. And in fact, with the 2 members that have dropped, that's a second checkpoint that has been cleared. And I think a bomb thrown right into the bubble eliminated everybody close to the tower. So all it took was 1 mirror bomb to eliminate everybody else from the birthday crew, and that just stalls the push. All things considered, though, that is 2 checkpoints cleared. And FSU Goldies wants to clear both of them coming up here, so a lot of opportunities for the birthday crew to get their defenses all squared away, especially if they're taking advantage of these trades here, Anchor, as it is going to be the 3 members that have dropped. Birthday crew are just running with this one. They're trying to find Nuke, and they know where Nuke is. Nuke is trying to find Windmill. Is actually going to get the trade onto Windmill. All that being said and done, though, it's nothing more than a distraction, as the birthday crew are trying to get more points on the board, especially with them pushing this tower up.
Yeah, that second checkpoint is going to be crucial here as the Booyah Bomb comes out, and I believe that they are going to expand on their lead. It looks like last time that triple coming out ended up being really important to stop the bleeding, what could have been an amazing push, but unfortunately for FSU, the good push is still coming out now in this instance as we are sitting at 20 points remaining. We are now at the 3rd checkpoint. 2 may go down for the birthday crew, but with 2 minutes remaining, that is going to be a very, very difficult barrier to overcome.
Let alone the fact that they haven't even cleared the checkpoints at all, so it's going to be a lot of extra time for the birthday crew to take advantage here. As the birthday crew are just swarming all over FSU Goldies here. The Booyah Bomb's there. That's a delayed wipeout effectively, and Clover has had no gold 8 to work off of for any of their card roller pushes. They have to play this one patiently here, but they know they're getting spot out here. They're trying to see if they can catch Gato off guard. They will eliminate Gato, but will the picks follow through? It is going to be Clover down, but it got the cost of 3 members from the birthday crew. A couple members have dropped. If anything, the tower is allowed to reset here, but Anchor, the more time progresses, the birthday crew will be very happy with this. And there's still the 3 checkpoints that Florida State has to clear, and not much time left on the clock to do so, Anchor.
Yeah, I mean, this bubble needs to come out on tower. They need to find picks first, but the tower just gets dive bombed as the bubble getting forced way early while we were under the grates, and that is going to be a wipeout before they even make it to that first checkpoint. I mean, this is just feeling like utter domination coming out. As even more points are going to be ticked down, and the tower is going to be pushed even further away from where FSU wanted to be. As you know, Nuck going to drop behind, take a lot of attention here from this flank is going to be nice, but what good is a flank when your full team is dying ahead of you, and the slide coming out not actually going to find anything but gassed. And Nuck together, okay, the hammer now comes out, gonna find 2, but 30 seconds, it's definitely going to be an overtime situation by the time that FSU even get to that second checkpoint. And yeah, with all the specials that the birthday crew have afforded to them, it's looking really, really difficult. It's gonna take a miracle.
It's gonna be a miracle for certain. If they gotta start singling out other members that are trying to dive deep into the birthday crew's side. Gato's way out of position. That's gonna be the first tower clear. Now the blue bomb being thrown early, it does not matter if you throw it early if you're gonna eliminate everybody else off the board, and that is FSU Goldies done. And the birthday crew ties up the set 3-3. The first non-zones map won by the birthday crew, and what a time to get it there, Anchor. As we're entering a tied set, now we're going to basically an effective best of 3 the rest of the way. As man, what a response from the birthday crew coming by the end of that game 6.
Yeah, FSU looked so dominant in the other tower control game on Hagglefish Market, but you know, just something about the map here, something about the special changes for the birthday crew just worked out for them so well. And now, yeah, that was a really crucial moment. Clover, you know, preventing because I don't even know if I saw a bomb there. I think Clover just managed to find all of those picks together.
That's true.
Managed to give FSU a lifeline there, but they just were not able to capitalize on it. And now, as you know, we approach into this Game 7 territory, you know, not the league season anymore. So, you know, it's not winner take all, but it definitely feels like it. I think whoever wins this game is gonna have the momentum going in, and yeah, it's a really crucial one because the birthday crew winning 2 in a row. Don't want it to get any worse for FSU.
Yes, and I think exactly your point. You're approaching basically a best of 3 the rest of the way here because both teams are tied up 3-3. And as you noted, because it's not the regular season, this is not a winner take all game now. You have a couple maps to get to that finish line, and I think that Game 7 being Humpback Rainmaker, very volatile, condensed map here. You can see 3 points remaining, but that's never a safe 3 points remaining because of how fast things can change. And I think the way both teams will want to approach this particular map is we got to win this one because we know we're going to be 1 map away, and we have a couple extra opportunities if things don't go south for us. So I think something to keep an eye on for this Humpback Pump Track Rainmaker map is honestly the early start. Who gets that first checkpoint and who can take advantage of it the most. I think you can see a lot of what the birthday crew is trying to change, especially with the main weapon kits they've been swapping out of. You also see, by the way, Poppy going away from the Zap to the Pro in recent times, which has been a critical adaptation for them. So I think for FSU Goldies how do you right the ship, especially when you lose 2 straight here and got the sets all tied up.
Yeah, absolutely. And if we think back to that last Rainmaker map, it could not have been any closer. Like, it required a last-ditch defense from FSU coming in time and time again. And then finally the one, despite the fact they had an amazing push on Undertow, which is, you know, not the easiest map to push on. I think Rainmaker Humpback is definitely easier to push on than that. So we'll have to keep an eye out if one of these teams can get a knockout. It will never be over, no matter how good the lead is. And we are seeing the return of this Luna Blaster. Luna Blaster and Carbon, I think, both doing very well on this map. So something to look out for FSU as they're going to try to, you know, play this one really fast and aggressive.
Something you want to keep an eye on, by the way, is the birthday crew. They have the red dapples back online for them, so you got beacons and coolers readily available if they want to take advantage here. The content so far from the birthday crew, Right as I'm about to call out the name, Windmill going down, has been that undercover Bella. The Reslayer has done a lot of damage in the past, but want to see how they can put this all together here, as it is going to be the first points, let alone the first checkpoint cleared from FSU. Now, again, this is Humpback Pump Check Rainmaker. For those not familiar with the map, these can change hands very quickly here, but that is 3 members down. Is anybody going to pick up this Rainmaker? Because this is a delayed wipeout, a prime opportunity. The wipeout is secured, and this will be not the game, but that will very likely be the game here soon. If Funny and Clover are able to get the picks, wrestle through, that is another Rainmaker pickup, but they are officially wiped out. And Anchor, talk about a fast push or a quick explosion on offense. FSU is literally just 1 mirror point away from the KO, but they weren't able to do so. That's still a strong push, nevertheless.
Oh my goodness, they played so fast, recognizing that the birthday crew were probably on the wrong side of the map for the defense, managing to get those picks on top of that and get so many points. But as I said before, on this map, the game is never over as the birthday crew respond very quickly, managing to get the first checkpoint and now get FSU 3 down. They can't panic yet though, because there's a long walk for there, as Gas is finally going to get the respawn and is going to be set up in a position that's going to make it really difficult for the Rainmaker to move. But this Booyah Bomb might facilitate things as the birthday crew trying to march on forward, gonna push to 16 before they get fully wiped. In its own, that would normally be an amazing push coming out, but in the context of this game, it is not going to be enough. But I think it goes to show, you know, this one can be flipped on its head in a matter of moments, as Gato jumped to one of their own beacons there that FSU did not see and managed to get a pick, and has a cooler now to drop down as well, as, you know, the birthday crew are going to look to bring this one all the way back.
I think it feels like it's been a long time, Anchor, since I've seen 2 teams get really explosive pushes to start. And it feels even rarer that a 16-point remaining push is not a lead, is actually still left behind. And exactly what you noted and what we've noticed so far, anything can change in a hurry here with the way this map is especially set up. So I think both teams will recognize we got to not just win our fights, we got to see if we can take home obviously a fight win in mid, and also see if we can lock out our opposing team here. So Rainmaker is just going to go where it stands. 3 members have gone down from FSU, but Booyah Bomb's being thrown all across the board right now. It's just Windmill and Poppy, the ones that are alive. Windmill very much trying to pick up this Rainmaker, but kind of missed by a few inches. But so far, Luna Pleasure has going to get dropped. And now Anchor, 1:55 left. It is going to be up to the birthday crew to see how they can materialize everything together to get a push started. Maybe this is the time to move, but the Rainmaker was dropped. Might moved a little too fast for their own good. And its agent trying to collapse under this Rainmaker. This push is going to get stalled in. Anchor, another successful for defense, but that's all it is for now.
I mean, how long can FSU really keep this one up? I mean, it feels like at 1, they should not be sweating at all, but the birthday crew are always knocking at the door. I think, for me, the eyes are definitely going to be on Gas on this Hydra. Something that we saw in the previous Rainmaker game as well, and what we saw even in this game at the start, where FSU gets a really good push, and as long as Gas is alive, it prevents the Rainmaker from pushing a little bit too far. But the specials coming out from the birthday crew are going to make Gas' life really difficult, as Gas is now the only one left alive, and the Booyah Bomb going to drop down. Does manage to find the Rainmaker as Gas gets traded out, but they're going to get the repop. But Clover is wise to it. Going to find 2. Make that 3. Delayed wipe coming out, and FSU barely survive again as the points this time drop to 8.
How many times has FSU Goldie in a 1-point remaining situation have to fight for their lives on defense, Anchor? That is twice now that they had to thwart the birthday crew from even getting the game with a KO, and multiple times they have stopped them dead on their tracks and what has been a frenzied fight. Even they got wiped out of their own. It took a critical pick to turn this game on its head, and so far FSU is still holding the lead. They just need to stay alive for as long as they can, but they may have overinvested too much on this push. Now the question is, the Rainmaker Rainmaker. Where is it being held to? It's being held by Windmill, so there's no Reef Slider available. It is about 7 seconds left in this game. They're being pushed back, so FSU Goldies have to do the same old song and dance of holding off the Birthday Crew in OT as we are taking down on the minutes of OT here. If Agent drops, that's gonna be huge. There's Agent that has gone down. Now Windmill's the one holding this Rainmaker here. It's gonna be Gatto trying to play from distance, but Gas has their eyes on the prize. The Rainmaker has been dropped, courtesy of Gas, and FSU Goldies, they had to fight tooth and nail for just a Rainmaker game in Humpback, and they are up 4-3. One more, and they will advance to finals.
Wow, Gas proven to be the Secretary of Defense out there. Something that I want to call out before is I noticed that they were dropped near the final checkpoint pedestal, and as overtime was beginning, they actually managed to they chose to jump out, not even under that much pressure. They chose to jump out because they knew that the high ground that would be afforded to them would be super, super crucial, and it ended up paying off. Was just such a smart play coming out and time again. There's a Booyah Bomb coming out from Gas yet again, and this time Clover from the Shark manages to find 3. Is just gonna be last ditch defense from FSU time and time again, managing to hold it off when it mattered the most and bringing them one game away from this finals.
I'm so gonna ask the same question. How many times for FSU Goldie, they had to survive a Windmill triple, which got them into Florida State 2. That was nuts from Windmill, but again, the thing I needed to see on replay was it Gas's Booyah Bomb? I mean, it very much was. Clubs definitely moved forward when they needed to, but that was the best minute and 5 seconds that Gas needed to play. Even if they went down, that they bought the team enough time to get the stop there. 8-1 being the scoreline, let alone the score that it was from the start of the game anchor, is wild to put it as the understatement of the year. But now we gotta check the game here. Of course, it is Museum Claim Blitz coming up. Of course, Birthday Crew has materialized a lot of victories so far, and they have won the Tower Control game earlier, but they lost the Clan Blitz game last time. Obviously, it came down to the last 4 seconds of the game, so this has been very equal between both teams. And for the FSU Goldies, they just had to sub the Birthday Crew a couple more times, but you know full well from what the Birthday Crew can dish out here, Inker, it still could be anybody's map, and if the Birthday Crew wins this, Game 9 is going to be upon us, and I think the Birthday Crew has to understand the assignment coming into Game 8.
Yeah, absolutely. This is another one of those maps where I feel like it's going to be somewhat difficult to score, and given how we saw both of these teams really like to play patient on Clan Blitz. Definitely going to be something to look out for. I think the range advantage that FSU have playing on that Hydra is definitely going to be the advantage in a map as open as Museum. There's not going to be a whole lot of space that the Birthday Crew will be safe to stand in. They're going to need to use, their Booyah Bomb and any other specials to try to displace Gas as best as they can. As we go loaded in, we're going to see it is going to be funny returning for FSU as, all reliable. They're going to stick to that same comp, and the Birthday Crew sticking with Cooler and the Missiles Pro.
Yeah, Frozen Pro coming back here once more. So there's a lot of ways that this can go here for both teams. I kind of like that both teams that kind of just stuck to what has been comfortable for them and only switching to the other kits when they feel like that, when it feels like time calls for it. So want to see what the Birthday Crew can do. Of course, FSU Goldies, they know the assignment. Win Game 8 and you go to finals. So that they're gonna have to put something together here to do this. And for the Birthday Crew, as both teams are gathering clams. FSU Goalie, by the way, with a lot of them. For the Birthday Crew, it's just trying to find the members. It's just trying to catch everybody off guard, trying to see if they can single out a couple members so they can put a push together. Because as you saw from earlier, both teams wanting to look for the right opportunity to strike, and just trying to see, hey, can we play this one patiently, or do we feel like it's time to go? And I think that's going to be the question both teams will have to answer the more the game progresses, Eaker.
Yeah, and Windmill, I think, using the shield is going to allow for a lot more aggressive play come out. Although the Luna Blaster, definitely something that can hit around that shield. You're going to force Windmill to back up. But it does look like the Birthday Crew so far have, it's hard to say. Both of these teams have been having these mid-fights. It looks like the Birthday Crew are currently on the front foot, though, as they've built up a slider, and a Cooler as well is going to be another crucial special for moving in. But again, I think this is going to be a very slowly paced game.
I think if it's anything that we saw from Barnacle and Dime Clan Blitz earlier here, I think both teams are just waiting are just gonna play this one patiently. Just gonna wait until you see maybe the staggered 3, the staggered 4 situation, and then we're like, all right, it's time to go. Especially with a map like this, where there's only really like a few entryways to move forward to, and Windmill's just gonna run over Agent there. A little bit of a fun moment for the Reef Slider, but I feel like both teams are gonna have been playing it very similarly. As okay, can we get the stagger 3? Can we get the stagger 4? Can we feel like we can move forward with just the push bar that we have? So far, it looks like the Birthday Crew are trying to knock on the door right now on the first push of the game, and Gatto's being pushed back here. They found an opening, but no, Gatto's gonna play for the fight while he holds the power climb. Doesn't matter though, because the rest of the team follows suit. Clover saves the push again, but they are wiped out. Windmill's the only one that stays alive. 2 minutes and 50 seconds in. That is push number 1 started here. Couple members gone. Club's gonna try to see if they can bring that power climb up, but I think they're gonna have to retreat with the lack of reinforcements. I think we have jinxed it here, Inker. Instead of a patient game, it looks like the Birthday Crew is like, no, let's just see if we can find that opening, and the opening they found, and that's just 74 points remaining. Obviously, you could go for a little bit more, but they are points on the board.
Yeah, points on the board that could prove to be crucial if, you know, FSU are not able to come up with anything, as Poppy now with the aura managed to find 3 down, and the Birthday Crew are not wasting any time to get more points on the board. That's a wipeout on top of that as all of the specials combined. 40 now remaining. Can they find one more clam? It's looking like that answer is going to be no, although Club's still kind of lurking on this spinner here, but, you know, doesn't have any clams. Is going to get taken out and allow FSU to move through mid. But I mean, the damage has more than been done. They need 3 footballs and a clam if they want to swap this lead. Not the sort of sustained push that you see a lot on Museum, as you know, FSU just getting a trade. Trade is not going to be good enough though as we approach minute and a half remaining.
Minute and a half remaining here, Inker, and here's the thing too, is that there are still plenty of opportunities for FSU to strike, but they don't have much special to work with other than an Ultra Stamp. They also need to get a power climb on the board. That's the other tricky part to this equation here, because so far FSU is still kind of stuck with no pushing power, and the push past 74, I mentioned before, not the strongest push you want to have. The second push proved me wrong, so I mean, Inker, about a minute 15 left, and FSU still needs to find that opening.
Yeah, and the more we play, the more it's looking like that the Birthday Crew, well, I was going to say the Birthday Crew are looking like they're not going to give it to them, but 2 managed to go down, I believe, to Azuka there, as the Clam Economy is tilting in the favor of FSU, and the stamp could have been so important, but managing to get swatted away. But, you know, FSU going to manage to pick up the pieces, not let that get to them, as this Gal is now set up in the spawn. But, yeah, the missile's just going to be too good to keep it up, but Gast is not going to want to be denied. Goes 2 down, though, in the process, so it's only trades coming out, and the Birthday Crew are watching this timer tick lower and lower as gas is going to go down. This is looking pretty bad for FSU, all things considered.
All things considered, this is looking really rough for FSU, but they still can try to get a push materialized here. With about 17 seconds left to go on the clock, it's going to be funny in the rest of the game with the 3 specials they have available to see if they can get a push started, but they lose 2, and they lose 3 of their own, because guess who this time? It's Windmill that gets the double, I believe, from the Reef Slider. The Ultra Stamp has to retreat back to base, but that's 2 seconds left on the clock, and not a lot of time left. They got to get a push started as OT very much quickly ticking down. Gas throws the Booyah Bomb in mid, right around across the spinner to see if they can find anybody. The clubs has dropped, but the push isn't going to be there. They're just stuck on their own side. They got to rush it to the other side eventually. Gas is just trying to move forward here, but I think Inker, the Birthday Crew, has this on lock. And Inker, in Division 7 semifinals, we found ourselves in a Game 9 as the Birthday Crew ties up the set 4-4.
Oh my god. I mean, these 2 teams could not be any more evenly matched. One of them, though, is going to have to go and move on, but uh-oh, that last mode, as we know, is going to be Splat Zone. So FSU are going to be forced to come up with something a little bit different now. I mean, maybe that little something different is don't disconnect, but it definitely was looking like the Birthday Crew were very dominant on this mode in the past. So out of nothing, Birthday Crew looking really, really dominant and primed to take this to the finals.
In Division 7, Inker, we have also had a Game 9, but that was in quarterfinals, the Runners versus UAH White. This is now the second Game 9 in Division 7 playoffs. So we have guaranteed a Game 9 in the first and second, in quarterfinals and semifinals, and it's going to be Florida State and the Birthday Crew hailing from the University of California, Santa Cruz, to put this together. Now, Here's the unfortunate thing for Florida State goalies. It's ship-shaped zones. Excuse me. Reef Slider is gonna be the special of choice. Excuse me, as that could be almost the special that can flip the zone in favor of the birthday crew. I feel like FSU goalies does have their work cut out for them, but as we've seen before, there are still plenty of opportunities for FSU goalies to strike. The problem is they gotta solve the kryptonite that has plagued them this set, which is the lack of winning in zones map so far. Granted, the second zones map was because of a disconnect, but they have to piece it all together. They kept the first game very close. Now they gotta see who they can eliminate in the birthday crew's roster as we approach this game 9. And I mean, Inker, this has been so back and forth. I feel like it could, as you said, come down to the wire, and you predicted it nicely. So let's see. We got to see what happens here in Game 9.
Yeah, I mean, after Game 1, might I add, I'll pat myself on the back for that one. I think it didn't take that much to know that this absolutely had the potential to go down to the wire. And this game in itself, that Game 1 that was on Mako zones, there were so many zone flips going back and forth every which way the entire time. And now there's been a little bit of a download, right? These teams know how each other play. They know the weapons. They know who the big threats are, and they know the points on the comms that they really need to keep an eye on. So, I mean, look at that. I mean, it really could go either way. Both these teams, I don't think anybody has necessarily the momentum going into this one either. And it's going to be Nuck coming back and is going to be on Silver Spray. So a slider coming out to counter Windmill. I know Nuck is an aerospace player, mostly for Gold Spray. That's a lot of special charge coming up. So we're going to be able to see a lot of them. And also, that special will be very good into the Poppy Booyah Bomb as well as the Gato Bubble, which were the choices from the birthday crew.
This is the one time, Anchor, that I can say Silver Spray is the best choice you can have on this map. Because again, Reef Slider has a great opening on their way to the zone to get the cap. And for all of you Reef Slider sickos out there, you will be enjoying this game from start to finish. So far, we gotta see if the birthday crew can take this one home. But there is, yes, a flying Reef Slider. The Booyah Bomb doesn't quite get the cap, but it is gonna be 3 members that have gone down. Just the Twinkle's alive, no longer alive, as I called it out. And it's just 81 points remaining, 95 points, and now ticking down from FSU Goldies. They stop a pretty alright initial push from the birthday crew, but FSU Goldies, they got a lot of paint on the board, and there's a lot of gold paint, so keep an eye on the Carbon Roller in Clover to take this one home, as they are still taking through. FSU Goldies has some sort of a lead, but beware of the Reef Slider that could happen. But with 62 points remaining, 2 members have going down. Windmill has to throw this Reef Slider into the zone, doesn't get the neutral, and FSU Goldies may have solved the riddle. They're past the halfway marker. They're looking to take this one home.
It is just flying so well on both sides. Clubs gonna get taken out by Gas, not quite getting the trade, which we have seen so many times as Backlines trade, but it's not coming out as 3 go down from the birthday crew again. Gas with this Booyah Bomb, gonna be throwing it on Windmill, who is close to a slider, and it's gonna take out Clover with the help of Clubs. Now, can this slider come out? But 2 go down yet again. This needs to be the zone cap. Can this be the moment? Windmill finding the pick. Gets the neutral and gets the cap unbelievably with 1 remaining.
I think I was waiting to see the giant tape that says KO in game until literally the big heroic moments of Windmill saves it for the University of California Santa Cruz. The birthday crew still has a lifeline, but they gotta piece together a huge push here, Anchor, because here's the problem. They have lost a majority of fights in this game. Even if Windmill saved it for them, they have a huge hill to climb. They gotta piece it all together right now. Inkstern's being used. It is gonna be Gato trying to see if they can move forward here with the bubble. They've eliminated Agent off the board. Resetter use only gets the neutral. The Inkstern's gonna help supply some paint. And Anchor, that is the birthday crew still wrestling zones in their own direction. They still have some time to work with. Perhaps the halfway marker, 2 down on both sides. There's nothing to discount for the birthday crew because they're still fighting strong despite everything that Windmill needed to dish out to get the zones cap.
Enough here. So many sliders have come out from them already, and also the Fizzy Bomb. This is a very good Fizzy Bomb map, and it's just been so difficult for the birthday crew to move in through these Fizzy Bombs, through Gast on the high ground. How do you manage to contest that? But now FSU are going 2 down as Nuck. The Reach Slider there is not quite going to do much. If the birthday crew are going to get the lead, and get the victory, it needs to be from a lockout, and they are maybe set up now for it as FSU are forced to come in and build some specials. Booyah Bomb coming out is going to take out Windmill before the slider comes out. They have a bubble going to be popped up top here, but the slider coming out into the zone is going to give FSU the cap. Crucially, a lot of penalty points, but the fights are now favoring the Birthday Crew suddenly.
Yeah, Birthday Crew is still winning a lot of these fights when they really needed to. Again, it's a huge save from Nuke, by the way, with the Silver Spray. Reef Sliders all coming in when they so desperately need it. Now Nuke has another Reef Slider. It's not going to be there in time. It is dueling Reef Sliders. Windmill runs over Nuke with their own Reef Slider, but they leave the door wide open for a zones cap the other direction. And that so far is going to be a couple members. Make that 3 members out. This is going to be huge right now for FSU Goldies. It is Poppy with the Booyah Bomb. They had to throw it right towards where gas was located. But again, how does the Birthday Crew try to materialize? They push on their own. They still have to get 4 members moved up here. The clubs finds gas. That's gas down. Now they lose their backline. They may have lost a lot of pressure coming into this. The Reef Slider is being run right in, and that's Agent Drop. 2 members down from FSU. They're still keeping those zones painted. Anchor, we're 37 seconds through, and this could be a nail-biter.
I mean, it's looking like it's headed to overtime, right? With 30 seconds remaining, Birthday Crew getting ready to get this Booyah Bomb and catch Agent out on this corner maybe, but Agent actually managing to survive for the time being, drawing a lot of attention from Poppy as Nook on this left side is going to be drawing even more as 3 specials are online for FSU. It is now or never. They're going to pop a Booyah and a slider on the zone at the same time to try to take this one. Here comes the slider. Gonna get 2, 3 go down. The Booyah Bomb comes out, and Windmill is left alone, and that's gonna be the wipeout though, and FSU are moving on to finals.
What? If you're gonna pick the time to dish out the Silver Spray, Ship-Shape Zones was the map to do it, and Nuke dishes out in a Game 9 situation. Chef's kiss for every Reef Slider lover out there, because you got to solve basically Reef Sliders being used just to get instant cap of the zones, and they took that home to 1-point range. Again, a lot of credit to Windmill, by the way, Inker, for keeping the game alive as long as it did for the Birthday Crew to take that one home. As you got to see the last 5 seconds, yeah, everybody going down at the last possible moment meant that the Birthday Crew had nothing left in the tank. My goodness, Inker, that was a crazy finish from almost the minute 1, and this set could have not gone any more close than it needed to. That was quite the entertaining Division 7 semifinal set. But as you noted, Florida State going on to Grand Finals in Division 7. They have to wait the winner of UAH White and Reef Rush. But Anchor, I think I got many questions, all of them great questions coming into this set, because that was a fun one to watch.
I mean, yeah, that set really had it all. I mean, no hyperbole to it. That was absolutely everything that you could possibly want in a best of 9 from start to finish. FSU, knowing that they had a problem in splat zones into this composition, right? And it's something that you need to overcome, like your greatest challenge, if you want to deserve the finals. You know, if they won that game 8, they would have said, okay, yeah, great, they did it, but they didn't figure out their zones issue. But this time they managed to, after Birthday Crew brought it to a game 7, they get to try out something new, an adaptation. Who sees an adaptation after 8 games? You know, you've done 8 games, kind of the same stuff. Finally bringing out something different, and it working out beautifully. They have a lot to be proud of here, and I think are definitely deserving of their final spot to go and take it home.
I'm going to give a lot of credit, by the way, to the Birthday Crew winning not just the non-zones map, but keeping that game really close in the second half of this game. We kind of saw FSU Goldies, by the way, taking home the non-zones map. It was like, are you going to be seeing just the Birthday Crew winning the zones map? But no, they pieced together a big tower control win and a clan blitz win at the very end. And what a great appearance from a group that I mentioned before, a team that I think we saw qualify out of a really, really strong Division 7, I think, from these two groups here. Let me take a look. Yeah, they had 4 wins, 1 losses in their respective group, the same group that featured UAH White, by the way, as well. So this was a very talented team. They just happened to go against a buzzsaw game 9 where Nuke dishes out the Silver Spray. I mean, Anchor, that Silver Spray adaptation was amazing, and probably the right time to use it in that particular matchup. So that was a lot of fun to watch right now. I'm trying to see if I was trying to see if we are gonna get an interview here because I think we do have our interviewees on the board. We're gonna throw them right into the fray here. Everybody watching on the stream, welcoming Gas and Nuke from FSU Goldies. First of all, I think I'm gonna get the obvious question out of the way for both of you. Doesn't matter who goes first. How are you guys feeling after 9 games?
My hands are shaking, and my heart is going a million miles an hour. Holy.
I'm not feeling much of anything, to be honest with you. I mean, what a game! And you know, we talk a lot about confidence and maintaining our composure. Once that timer hit like 0, like we were just going crazy, dude. It's truly everything you think it is.
Man, that was awesome. I'll give you some time to figure out a question here. I think I gotta start. I gotta put the question. I guess on either you guys. I mean, you guys took home a lot of the non-zones map here. The zones was your kryptonite here. Actually, I guess I asked Nuke. Silver arrow spray
yes.
On a game 9 winner take all situation. What has compelled you to bring that weapon out?
This is gonna sound very stupid, but before the gold aerospray was out, I was the silver aerospray main, and I had used the aerospray ever since Splatoon 1. It was just a matter of situation. The map ship shape. It was not really a map I felt confident going in with the sploosh, and they were running Reef Slider a lot, and that was kind of getting me down. So I felt like I had to make like a last second decision there, and I had about 2 seconds left on the pre-game match clock before I had to like select something. So in those last 2 seconds, I was just like, you know what? I'm going to pull out my classic weapon, man. And it worked. It's just one of those things, you kind of just have a gut feeling, but I'm so glad it worked out.
I mean, that was insanely well. Now, I figured it was, now here's the funny thing. Obviously in the commentary desk, for me, I thought that was a premeditated pick, but if that was last second, that was even bold for you. But I think it's exactly what you noted there, too. It was great.
Guess, correct me if I'm wrong. I said that with like 20 seconds left on the
there were 20
clock,
seconds left on the clock, and you picked it at like the 1 second mark.
Yeah, he was like, I don't know if you should, but if you want to, if you think we'll win, go for it.
And I'm just like...
And I will also say, that's a weapon I've never used in this entire season. Like, yeah, we just completely last second.
We have actually, never played with Silver Aerospray before.
That makes it even more wild.
Right? It did work.
Yeah,
it was so good. I saw 2 Reef Sliders come out in the first 30 seconds, and I thought, I think they found their solution. You pushed all the way down to 1 point, and we were almost certain that it was going to be the game, set, and match right there, but ended up being Windmill on that undercover umbrella, making a last gasp attempt, managing to secure it. Like, how do you hold your nerves as you enter into that overtime going in, because you feel like, oh my gosh, I thought I just had it.
I know you said it on the stream itself that, how long is FSU going to have to keep getting down to 1 point and then going to fight for their lives defensively? I remember you hearing that, and I told everybody, we just started laughing, but, we do not want to go down to 1 point ever. I feel like, we want that knockout, but I was counting it down for them. I was like 50, okay, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, and then 3, 2, 1. My heart was pounding as I got to 1, and then they capped it at the very end there, so it was a little deflating, but... at the end there, when it was about 1 minute left, I think that's when I knew we had it in the bag.
And speaking of the 1 point meme, it happened twice for you guys too. And I think it was with that throwback to the Humpback Rainmaker game where we saw one powerful push from you guys, and then the second one, Birthday Crew tried to like beeline it multiple times. Like again, it's the same question. Like, obviously you guys don't want to be in that situation where you're literally 1 point away from taking home the KO, but as you mentioned before, is like how do you try to keep your cool in both really in any tightly close game, especially with the 2 1-point memes that were pulled off?
Guess what do you do, man? I just count down, man. It's all on you, man.
For me, it's it's always me telling myself like, games no matter what the point is, it's not over till it's over. You just got to keep like no matter what the score is, just always try your best. Like I was like, I think after we got to that like 1 point, I was just in like VC okay, we're down. Just play defense here. Just watch this far, go there. Just. I guess for me, it's more getting my mind off that we're 1 point. We're just trying to hold that at that point, and it works.
Yeah, I mean, Gas, you absolutely were the one that was holding the line down on both of the Rainmaker games. You literally saved the game with you staying up on high ground and shooting down, raining fire on the Rainmaker. So I want to make sure you got your flowers for that, because that was really, really clutch play in what ended up being a super close set. So any of those things going a different way, maybe we're interviewing somebody different. So you really, you all did your part.
Thank you.
No, that was awesome. I do want to ask a very important question, because of course in Division 7 here, I mean, has any of your team out? This is just for my own curiosity's sake. For guessing, have you guys like played any other Splatoon tournaments? Or just like is this everybody's first rodeo playing like a league of this kind?
Yeah. So
okay.
I've been with Florida State now for 4 years, and I keep trying to promote this team, and to far beyond just an esport, or just far beyond collegiate Splatoon. We're representing Florida State, and I think that the fact that we've won a national championship before and been in this position before, I will keep saying it. I'm going to keep saying it's a national championship, because it is. But we've been in this spot before, and I feel like the team that we have now, it's really the dream team, and credit to all of our teammates, and I'm so pleased with how they've been doing, and I truly do believe that this team has absolutely a fighting shot in that national championship, man. We want it. I said it in the chat. We want it badly.
Yeah. I think I saw the message like, all right, you're one step closer. You just gotta take them for grand finals. Quick question for you: how's it feel now that you guys are literally grand finals or grand final bound, and you're literally one set away from, as you described, the new Natty bound?
It's everything you think it will be. And if there's anyone listening who's even considering competing in collegiate Splatoon or just esports or sports in general, getting to this point is everything you think it will be, but the final win at the end will be so much sweeter. And that's what we're going to be preparing for. We got a tough team coming up in the next couple of weeks, but we're going to fight like hell to win.
Ingrid, you got a question for them?
Yeah, I had actually one final one before we head out. So in your group stage, you ended up winning a Game 7 against Refresh, right?
Yes.
To end up making it here. And they are sitting on the other side in semifinals against UAH White, who have also had, a really, really strong run. So obviously, no matter which way you go, it's, it's not going to be an easy one. But are you hoping for the Refresh run back? Or what? How are you guys feeling going into that matchup, potentially?
I personally am. Like, I'm super excited to run it back. They're a great team, amazing players on there, and I obviously don't mind going against the other team, but like I think it'd be really cool to go against Refresh again and just do the run back. Yeah, great players. It was a really fun set when we did it, and super excited.
It's very hard to beat the same team twice. Like if we get meshed up with Refresh in national championship game, it's going to be one hell of a game. I'm going to tell you that. It's going to be crazy.
Yep.
All right. No matter who you end up facing, we wish you luck. But that is going to be it for us today in terms of questions. So thank you both for showing up and answering the questions, giving a little bit of insight to your team, and good luck on the preparation for that.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much. Go Goldies, baby.
Let's go.
Love the insight there. Natty bound is just gonna forever live rent free my head. Thank you, Duke, for that. Anchor, I think that was a fun set to watch. I think there are two more sets later this evening. Hopefully they can deliver the same punch here as well. But Anchor, but I think it's our time to get out of here and maybe just get ourselves calm, possibly for more awesome CCA playoffs action. It was fun working with you, Anchor. Where can people find you, by the way?
Oh man, you can find me at Anchor2BlueSky.social, and I've been seeing you do comms for years now, so to be able to do this with you is a lot of fun. So thank you, Kyon.
No worries. You guys can, by the way, find me at the top of the hour doing a Ludi comms set on Splatoon Tourney. Otherwise, Kyon2570 Blue Sky. And on Twitch. I don't know where it's blinking on that platform from. By the way, DRF gets shoutouts for running production for this one. I'm not sure if we're gonna go to a break before the next set, or if we're gonna temporarily go offline. Someone will yell at me in my ear for that one. Oh, okay, cool. So we'll be going off the air in just a bit there, but I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's gonna be at the top of the hour. Once again, we'll be checked there. We'll get two more games for you guys here. But until then, stick around at the top of the hour when we go back online for CCA playoff action. But with Anchor and our production, DRF, I don't know why my directions are all wrong. Don't worry about it. My name is Kyon. Have yourselves a great rest of your evening. Stay tuned again at the top of the hour for more CCA playoff action. You have just watched CCA Division 7 semifinals on CCA Splatoon. Until then, see you guys at the top of the hour.
Bye.